Very problematic for glaciers because there was really little snow in winter, almost record low snow depths, and the summer was very warm. The combination of these two factors is the worst that can happen to glaciers. And then, of course, there is climate change that makes such extreme events, as we have seen them in the last 2 years, much more likely.
Oliver Bolton is the CEO and co-founder of Earthly, an NGO that helps companies invest in nature and to remove carbon, restore biodiversity, and improve livelihoods. Thanks very much for being with us. So that's a huge amount of glacial ice loss in a very short time, 10% in 2 years. How worried should we be about this?
Well, look, I think it's a very sober reminder that things are accelerating in the wrong direction, and looking at problems that can arise from this. Glaciers act as a natural reservoir, storing water in the form of ice in colder periods, and they release it in warmer periods. So many regions, including Switzerland, rely on glacier meltwater for drinking water, for agriculture, for hydroelectric power. So the loss of glaciers could disrupt these supplies. And of course, meltwater from glaciers around the world contributes to sea level rise. Meltwater feeds into rivers and lakes, creating habitats for a variety of different species, and a loss of glaciers could lead to habitat loss and a decline in biodiversity. And finally, they play a key role in regulating the Earth's temperature by reflecting sunlight back into space. And as glaciers shrink, more land is exposed, which absorbs more heat and fuels global heating.
So what can be done then at this point to limit the damage to this? Or have we reached a tipping point now as far as the damage?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, look, some changes may be irreversible on human timescales, such as the loss of species or the melting of glaciers. But it is widely believed among experts that with aggressive mitigation efforts, it is possible to prevent the worst impacts of climate change. So this includes drastically reducing greenhouse gas emissions, transitioning to renewable energy sources, improving energy efficiency, and adopting regenerative farming practices to strengthen our food systems. And the thing that we're really focused on at Earthly is this funding gap to nature. We have a $500 billion annual funding gap if we're going to meet our Paris goals. And so we're really focused on helping accelerate funding to nature by helping hundreds of businesses around the world find and invest into the world's leading, highest integrity nature-based projects.
So what can be done at this point at the government level? And what does the international community as a whole need to do in order to stay above that 1.5 degrees Celsius threshold that's always talked about?
Yeah, well, look, I think that there's the bits that we've just discussed just now, but from our politicians, I think now more than ever, they need to be brave and bold with their climate leadership. We need governments to build on the Paris Agreement commitments that have been made by setting more ambitious national determined contributions. So this is greenhouse gas emission reduction targets, and to work hard to deliver them. This is a global issue, and we need a globally coordinated, ambitious emission reduction targets. We need to be sharing technology, sharing knowledge, and providing financial support and technology to those that that need it. And could the greatest challenge to face humanity actually be the thing that brings us all together with a shared mission and goal? And look, as I mentioned, we have a huge funding gap, and we need to accelerate investment to nature protection restoration, which will also provide us with climate resilience and support adaptation. And alongside investing in the tech-based carbon capture and storage systems. And I think to your viewers watching, we all have a part to play. We can all put pressure on politicians who at the end of the day work for us. And don't be afraid to let the businesses that you support know that you care about climate and nature, and vote with your wallet. Supporting companies that align with your values. And I think if we all come together, I'm optimistic. We can have an impact.
Good to talk to you, Oliver Bolton. Thanks very much.
Thank you.